Well, unfortunately, the holidays are over, and that means you might need to shed some extra pounds on your waistline. And joining us this morning with a healthy recipe is Chef Mark McKinney with UT's Healthy Living Kitchen. And today we are talking about a tasty, warm soup, but one that's also good for you.
That's right. We're doing tomato soup now. As we were talking about, when people eat soup, they tend to think that they're eating healthy, and they can be from a fat standpoint, but a lot of canned soups have a lot of sodium, possibly MSG, things like that. So we're making one from scratch, and this one is kind of a trifecta. It's gluten-free, it's lower in sodium, and it's lower in fat, and it's really easy to make. So we'll go ahead and get started here. The first thing I'm going to do, I have a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to put that in my pan, and then I have my mirepoix, which is a standard blend of carrots, onions, and celery. Okay. So this goes in, and it's going to just kind of help build the base of the flavor of the soup. And we want these to sweat. So you don't want them to brown. You just kind of want them to sweat down a little bit and soften up. Okay. A little bit of garlic goes in. Toast the garlic. Bring out some of those flavors. And then we're going to start adding our liquid. We've got a couple of different things. I've got a gluten-free vegetable broth. Now, you can use chicken broth, you can use water, whatever you like. That's going to go in. And then where we're looking at sodium is we're using canned tomatoes, but they're no salt added, so they're significantly lower in sodium. The canned tomatoes go in. I have a little bit of, tomato puree, which is going to help give it a little bit more of that acidic quality that we're looking at from a tomato soup. And then here's kind of the cool thing. Most tomato soups either have heavy cream, they have a white flour roux to thicken. Since we're doing gluten-free, we don't want to use the flour. Since we're doing low-fat, we don't want to use the cream. So we're using white beans, which are high in fiber, and when pureed, act as a thickening agent.
There we go, okay.
So that goes in, a little bit of basil. This would simmer for 15 or 20 minutes. We want to soften everything up really good. And then it goes over here either into the blender, or if you have an immersion blender that you can stick down in the pot and puree it up, you want to do that. Now, here's the thing. If you watch all those cooking shows, you always see the guys that are in a hurry and they put the hot stuff in the blender and it blows up everywhere. So if you're going to use the blender, I would suggest two things. Let it cool a little bit. Take you a towel, lay it over top, and leave it vented, because when that hot air spins, it tends to blow. And then when I start, I just pulse a little bit. Okay. Like so. And then you let it go.
That way we don't have a mess all over the kitchen.
We don't want to burn anybody, or we don't want to get you dirty with tomato soup. And you would really need to blend this for a few minutes because of the beans to really get that texture that you're looking at. And then the final product over here. And then there's a couple of cool things that Food City, who sponsors the Healthy Living Kitchen, had that I brought. This is a gluten-free pizza crust that's in the freezer section. I brushed it with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, Parmesan, baked it in the oven, so it's a nice flat bread. And then Blue Diamond Almonds makes a gluten-free cracker that you could do as well to have with your soup. So just a couple of really easy options for people that may be wanting to go gluten-free.
And maybe lose some weight. Healthy and filling and nutrient-filled.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll post the recipe on our website, WBIR.com. Thanks, Mark, for being here.